These last few months have been absolutely crazy. Seriously. I left my last job up in Massachusetts and I moved back down here to Georgia, where I'm originally from. And the last job I had was white collar. So it was like answering emails all the time. It was also a combination of like blue collar teaching. So I was teaching like building controls, but they wanted to move me toward more email nonsense, more meeting nonsense, more of that just taking your work home with you nonsense. It was like an administrative college job, and they wanted to promote me to assistant director, but I declined that. Even though I was close to the six figures in salary, living in a city as amazing as Boston, I still think Boston is amazing. I was miserable. Except the teaching. I loved the teaching and I loved the students, but aside from that, I hated the other work. Like, I hated it, you know? Like, this is not saying I hate anybody from the last job, because I don't. But it's strictly about the work. It's about the work, and it's about the culture and the environment. You know what I mean? Like, not everything, when you leave a job, it's not always about the people. I actually liked my coworkers, but it's like, oh my God. So I went through a 4 to 5 month unemployment period. If my dad and my mom and my brother and my family did not help me out, I would be in a much worse place. So my credit goes to them, and it goes to God. God above all else, right? And I really didn't know where my life was going to go. I kept trying to get job after job after job, interview after interview, decline after decline, you know, stuff like that. I was trying to figure out what was going to work best with my school, because it disrupted my school when I left. I quit because I didn't want to be convinced to stay. Some of the reasons I quit were they actually made sense. I didn't want to. I was always told, try not to quit. Stay with the job. Stick it out. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it consume your time. Don't let it do this, that, the third. That's all easier said than done, okay? That is all easier said than done. We were so busy all the time. We worked over weekends, and we didn't really get lunch breaks. We didn't get lunch breaks. Only when we were having like luncheons and stuff did we get lunch breaks. But aside from that, we didn't get lunch breaks. So I quit. Okay, even when I was in the middle of teaching a cohort. Why? Because I was always selfless for my students, so I decided to be selfless for myself. I won't call it selfish, I will call it selfless for myself. Why did I leave so suddenly and not finish teaching the class? One, I was afraid that I would not leave, because if I waited any longer, I was going to decide to stay. You know what I mean? Or someone would convince me to stay again, you know, because people were always trying to convince me, hey, stay, stick it out, just hang in there, blah, 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 even though my soul was telling me something different, you know. And I do regret the way I left, but I do not regret quitting, truly. I don't. I mean, sure, it damaged the college and the students' progress, but I mean, they damaged my progress. So some of it was also to get back at them. They felt like they could control me or had leverage over me because I'm young, but I let them know, like, hey, I don't play by y'all rules, okay? I come from a blue-collar family, and I come from people who don't take bullshit. And I'm just like that. My mom and my dad, they don't take bullshit. Especially my mom. She don't take no bullshit at all. Like, at all. Right? So I got that directly from her. But I did take bullshit. I took a lot of bullshit because I think that sometimes the greater good matters. But in that moment, I realized that the greater good was myself. Right? I did leave them with a somewhat trained instructor, so it wasn't just complete abandonment, right? So it's not like they had absolutely nobody to fill that role. If they did, I probably would have stayed. If they had absolutely nobody to fill the role, like at that moment, I probably would have stayed just a little bit longer. But just because I do care about the students. I do care about the work, and I care about the students and the teaching. That was like the only part of the job I actually loved. But they were trying to squeeze me out of that part and put me into an administrative promotion. I saw right through that bullshit. I'm like, at first I told them, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, and I'm not taking that promotion. And then I was like, I'm gonna contract as an instructor. I said, I'm gonna leave this job at this date. And then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna leave the job today. Because I'm like, I'm not trying to, we're not doing this. And that's just a simple version, but man, that was a rough couple of months moving back down to Georgia, being broke, homeless, all that was tough. It was so tough. And I didn't know if I would get through it, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not going to recite my darkest days, but I did not think I was going to get through that shit. Only me and God are ever going to know how dark those days really were. Okay, that's it. Only me and God will ever know how dark those days actually were. They were really dark, but I made it through somehow. I don't know. I'm at a loss for how I made it through. Big shout out to my dad. My dad was connected to the job. He was mad I left. I actually put him in a tough position when I left, which I regret. But I felt like it couldn't be helped. You know what I mean? So I did what I had to do. The way I saw it was that the fallout they're not going to be permanently damaged. It's okay. I was like, they're not going to be permanently damaged, okay? But me and my career and what I want to do, I don't know. And it's not like I didn't have a plan when I left my job. It's just that life rarely goes exactly according to plan. Like, I already had other jobs lined up, but they ghosted me because it's 2026 and employers are as flaky as dating apps, which is just ridiculous, but that's how it is. Now I'm working a job down here. Overall, it pays less, but I take more home with me than I did up there, which is really taking more home with you is really what truly matters anyway. You know what I mean? It's not about how much you get paid, it's about how much you take home. Because if you make $120,000, but you only take $50,000 of that home, you're not really making $120,000. You know what I mean? I gotta say, I'm surprised I ended up in such a much better job. That's chill. I don't have to take my work home with me. Get a lot of free time, long lunch breaks, flexible. I get to do my schoolwork and my other stuff while I'm at work on my downtime. I actually get to have lunch breaks, and I don't have to eat at my desk while I'm waiting for emails and Teams calls. And people just busting up into my office space out of nowhere demanding I do something. It's like, oh man. Living in my dad's shadow because he's involved with the job. Like, I'm just so glad that I did what I did at the end of the day. For a while, I wasn't. I was wondering if I made the right decision. But now I realize that things did work out. By the grace of God, things actually worked out. Now, I won't be quitting other jobs until I sign a contract. I don't care if they say they're going to hire me. I need to have signed a contract. Okay? That is what I'm going to do going forward. What I should have done the first time. Forgive me. I'm in my mid-20s. I make mistakes. I think the biggest amount of credit honestly goes to my parents. I mean, God as well, but my parents did so very much for me. They disagreed with what I did, but they still supported me, and I'm just like, they're God sent, they're angels. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, how did I end up so fortunate? But man, that was a struggle. Being homeless, I would never recommend anyone try that. Luckily, I didn't reach true homelessness, but I had to rehome my dog. There were plenty of nights where I did not know where I was going to stay for the next day. And I didn't know how I was going to. There are days I just didn't eat because I couldn't afford to. That shit is something I never want to go back to, man. I never want to do that again. God. I mean, people say it's bad, but that doesn't even get to the half of it. It's beyond bad. Because you can act all tough if you want, but as soon as your stomach start growling and you have to go to a church to get free food, that's when you really gonna start to hate your life for real. And rely on people to give you food knowing you can't pay them back. Like, man, being in debt, your credit score dropping hundreds of points, debt collectors calling you every single day, reminding you that you need to pay, trying to get started in a freelance business and all that stuff, even though it's like, you think you can do freelance web development till you realize that someone in fucking Pakistan is charging $8 for a website and you got to compete with them. Like, it's just, I always say this world is a trip. It is. This world is a trip. It's not even right to say it's good or evil. This world just don't give a fuck. That's all it is. You can either use that to prosper or use it to fail. It's up to you. And this world has never been fair. You could be born into a shitty situation and never be able to get out of it. So if you have the momentum to get out of it, use that, okay? And also, do not give up on life, okay? I wish somebody would have told me that a little bit earlier. Like, don't just lay in bed and smoke weed all day and just give up on your life. Like, don't do that. Like, do not do that. Whatever you got to do to break out of that, wake up early, apply for jobs, interview, hustle, DoorDash, whatever you got to do, you got to break that cycle. I'm not saying you got to quit weed. I'm just saying you got to break the cycle of laziness. You got to break it. Like, you have to. All right. Otherwise, you're just gonna end up even more miserable. Whether I end up posting this or not, I really hope it helps somebody, because I wish that I could have someone who told me exactly this those months ago, but I hope it helps for people who are going through it. I know it's cliche that things will get better or can get better, not always will, and I won't just say that. What I will leave you with is the fact that things can change drastically in one day. They could change drastically in 1 week. But a lot of it, most of that change has to do with what you do, okay? Because you could end up applying for a job one day and they give you a call back the next day about starting. Another piece of advice I'll give is, I'm gonna just be honest, don't even smoke weed while you're trying to get a job. The stress of trying to fake a drug test ain't worth it. It ain't worth the stress, for real, okay? Let me know if y'all want any advice. If anyone ends up watching this, I hope it helped. I hope that things go well. Send me a DM if you want more advice or want to talk to me. I'm willing to help out. And God bless. I hope things go your way. Oh, last thing I will say, you have to grow every single day. You have to grow. You have to confront the things that you did wrong, okay? And you got to put it down too, because we have so many thoughts every single day. We have to write down the ones that are productive so we can keep those going through, okay? Because if you just say, walk with your shoulders back and your head high, and you only think that and you never reinforce that because you forgot, then it's a wasted thought. I'm not saying write it down physically, but just type it out, review it, put it to your daily prayer. If you're not religious, just recite it to yourself every day. And I can't promise things will get better, but you will increase the likelihood that things will get better, okay? All right.